Let me ask you something. You've spent the last 20, 30, maybe even 40 years doing everything right. You saved, you contributed to your 401k, you rode out the market crashes and kept going. And now you're in your 50s or 60s and retirement is actually within reach. But here's what no one tells you. The strategy that got you here, it will not get you through retirement. In fact, if you keep doing what you've been doing, the same approach, the same mindset, the same risk tolerance, it could cost you everything you worked for. Today, we're talking about one of the most important financial transitions of your life, the shift from accumulation to distribution. What it means, why it changes everything, and exactly what you need to do about it before you retire. Welcome to Retirement Security Simplified. For most of your working life, you've been in what financial professionals call the accumulation phase. And the name says it all. You've been accumulating, building, growing your nest egg inside your 401k, your IRA, maybe a brokerage account or TSP if you're a federal employee. And the strategy during accumulation is actually pretty straightforward. Save as much as you can. Invest in a diversified mix of stocks and bonds. And when the market drops, which it will, you stay the course because you have time on your side, time to recover, time to keep contributing, time to let compound growth work in your favor. But here's where things get real. When you're 5 to 10 years away from retirement or already in it, time is no longer on your side, and that changes everything. There's a concept called sequence of returns risk. Here's what it means in plain English. If the market drops significantly in the early years of your retirement, right when you're starting to draw down your savings, the damage is far worse than if that same drop happened during your accumulation years. Because now you're pulling money out of a shrinking account. You're locking in those losses, and you may never recover. The accumulation phase served you well, but in your 50s and 60s, you need a new strategy. And that strategy is called distribution. So what does distribution actually mean? Distribution is a phase where you stop adding to your nest egg and start turning it into income. Reliable, predictable, steady income that covers your expenses for the rest of your life, possibly for 25 or 30 years. And that shift requires an entirely different set of questions. During accumulation, you asked yourself, how much am I saving this year? What's my rate of return? Am I on track? In distribution, the questions change completely. Instead of how much am I saving, you now ask, how much guaranteed income will I have coming in every single month? Instead of what's my rate of return, you ask, what's my plan if the market drops 30% the year I retire? And instead of when can I retire, you ask the most important question of all. Will my money last as long as I do? That last question is what keeps most retirees up at night. And it's exactly what a solid distribution strategy is designed to answer. Here's the mindset shift I want you to walk away with today. In accumulation, you are managing assets. In distribution, you're managing income. Those are two very different jobs, and they require two very different strategies. Now, let's talk about how you actually build a distribution strategy. And it starts with what I call the income floor. Your income floor is the foundation of your retirement plan. It's the amount of guaranteed income you have coming in every month that covers your essential living expenses, your housing, food, utilities, healthcare, insurance, no matter what the stock market is doing, no matter what happens to the economy. Guaranteed. Think of it like the floor of your financial house. Everything else gets built on top of it. But if the floor isn't solid, if your essential expenses depend on a volatile investment portfolio, your entire retirement is at risk. So how do you build that floor? It typically has up to 3 layers. Layer 1 is Social Security. And I want to be very direct here. When you claim Social Security is one of the most important financial decisions you will ever make. If you claim at 62, you permanently reduce your benefit by up to 30%. But if you wait till 70, your benefit can be up to 76% higher than if you had claimed early. That's a massive difference in guaranteed inflation-adjusted income for the rest of your life. And for married couples, coordinating your Social Security claiming strategy, taking into account spousal benefits and survivor benefits, can add tens of thousands of dollars in lifetime income. Layer 2 is a pension, if you're fortunate enough to have one. If you do, you'll need to understand your payout options, specifically the difference between a single life payout and a joint and survivor option, to make sure your spouse is protected. Layer 3, and this is where many retirees have a significant gap, is a fixed indexed annuity with an income rider. A fixed indexed annuity, or FIA, with an income rider is designed to do one thing exceptionally well: provide you with a guaranteed paycheck for life that you cannot outlive. Even if your account value eventually reaches zero, the income keeps coming. Think of it as creating your own personal pension, one you design, one you control, and one the market cannot take away from you. And here's what makes an FIA uniquely powerful in the distribution phase. Your principal is protected. You can participate in market-linked growth when the market goes up, but you do not lose money due to market downturns. In the distribution phase, that downside protection isn't just nice to have, it's essential. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying every dollar you have should be in a guaranteed product. That's not the goal. The goal is to make sure your income floor is fully covered and then allocate the rest of your money strategically. One of the most effective ways to think about this is called the bucket strategy. Bucket 1 is your short-term bucket. This is 1 to 2 years worth of cash or liquid savings, money market accounts, high yield savings, short-term CDs. This is your buffer. It's what you live on while protecting your other assets from being touched during a market downturn. Bucket 2 is your midterm protected bucket. This is where a fixed indexed annuity fits perfectly. It offers the potential for growth linked to a market index with zero downside risk. Over time, this bucket funds your income floor for life. Bucket 3 is your long-term growth bucket. This is money you don't need to touch for 10 or more years. Money that can stay invested in the market for growth, for legacy purposes, for an inflation hedge, or to self-insure against long-term care costs. Now here's what I want you to stop doing if you're in your 50s or 60s. Stop chasing high-risk returns with money you actually need. The time for swinging for the fences is over for the portion of your portfolio that funds your retirement income. Stop ignoring fees. When you're in your 20s and 30s, fees are a nuisance. When you're drawing down a retirement portfolio, fees are a drag that compounds in the wrong direction. And stop assuming Social Security alone will be enough. For most Americans, Social Security replaces only about 40% of pre-retirement income. You need a plan for the other 60%. Here's where I see a lot of pre-retirees get blindsided, and I don't want that to happen to you. There are 3 wild cards in the distribution phase that can quietly derail an otherwise solid retirement plan. Wild card number 1 is taxes. Most people assume their tax rate will go down in retirement. Sometimes that's true, but often it's not. especially once you factor in Social Security taxation, required minimum distributions, and investment income. Here's something most people don't realize. Up to 85% of your Social Security benefit can be subject to federal income tax, depending on your total income in retirement. That's called provisional income, and if you're not planning around it, you could be paying taxes on income you thought was yours free and clear. And then there's IRMAA, the Income Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. This is a Medicare surcharge that kicks in when your income exceeds certain thresholds. If your household income is above roughly $106,000, you start paying more for your Medicare Part B and Part D premiums, significantly more. This is one of the most overlooked retirement costs I see, and it can add thousands of dollars per year in unexpected expenses. The good news is that proactive planning can help you reduce both of these. One of the most powerful strategies available to you right now, especially in your 50s and early 60s, is a Roth conversion. By strategically moving money from a traditional IRA or 401k into a Roth account now, while you're in a potentially lower tax bracket, you reduce the taxable income you'll have in retirement, lower your Social Security tax exposure, and potentially stay under IRMAA thresholds. Wildcard number 2 is required minimum distributions, or RMDs. Starting at age 73, the IRS requires you to withdraw a minimum amount from your traditional IRA and 401k accounts every year, whether you need that income or not. And those withdrawals are taxable. If you've been a disciplined saver, your RMDs could be substantial and could push you into a higher tax bracket, increase your Social Security taxes, and trigger IRMAA surcharges all at once. The time to plan around RMDs is now, not at 72. Wildcard number 3 is long-term care. This is the expense I see derail most retirement plans than almost anything else. The average cost of a private room in a nursing home today is over $100,000 per year, and the average length of a long-term care need is nearly 3 years. That's $300,000 or more potentially gone from a retirement portfolio that was carefully built over a lifetime. If your income floor and distribution plan don't account for long-term care, you have a significant gap that needs to be addressed. Alright, let's bring this home with a clear action plan, because information without action doesn't change anything. Step 1. Calculate your income gap. Add up every guaranteed income source you'll have in retirement, Social Security, pension, any other guaranteed income. Then subtract your estimated monthly expenses. Whatever the difference is, that's your income gap. That's the number a fixed indexed annuity with an income rider is specifically designed to fill. Step 2. Pull your Social Security statement. Go to SSA.gov and create a My Social Security account if you don't have one. Model different claiming scenarios. The difference in lifetime income can be staggering. Step 3. Audit your current portfolio for risk. How much of your retirement savings is truly protected from market loss? How much is exposed to a significant downturn right at the moment you need it most? If you don't know the answer, that's the first thing you need to find out. Step 4. Run a Roth conversion analysis. Work with a retirement income specialist to determine how much you can convert each year while staying in a favorable tax bracket before RMDs force your hand at 73. Step 5. Talk to someone who specializes in retirement income, not just an accumulation-focused financial advisor. The skill set required to grow wealth is fundamentally different from the skill set required to efficiently distribute it. Make sure the person guiding you understands both. Here's the bottom line. The shift from accumulation to distribution is not just a financial event. It's a fundamental change in strategy, mindset, and priorities. The decisions you make in your 50s and 60s will determine whether your retirement years are defined by financial security and peace of mind, or by worry, uncertainty, and running out of money before you run out of time. The good news is, if you're watching this video, you're already ahead of most people. You're asking the right questions at the right time. If you'd like to learn more, take a look at the free booklet called Retire Smart. It's available on the page that's linked in the description box. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps more people just like you find this channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet to Retirement Security Simplified, make sure you do, because every week we break down complex retirement topics into simple, actionable strategies you can actually use. I'm Shonda Prescott, and this is Retirement Security Simplified, where we specialize in turning confusion into confidence, one conversation at a time.